Hello, my name's Freddie Nichols, and I'm going to be going over value objects today. So, what is a value object? Well, a value object is an entity that can represent multiple objects, such as books, or movies, or people. So, how does that work? Well, a book is always going to be a book, but it can have different properties that define it, such as a title, an author, a genre, and a publishing date. So our value object of book has properties inside of it that help us to determine which book we're talking about. Just as an example, people can be value objects. For instance, each person has their own name, age, occupation, hobby, hair color, eye color, and skin tone. Each of these properties can be used inside the value object person to help us determine which person we may be talking about. So, let's see. Just a second, I'll grab the Flash Builder. So my tutorial, I did employees, like a list of employees that pulls up a name, a job title, rate of pay, and the years employed for that employee. And first, what I did is I created a value object employee VO, and I just set public variables inside there for a name, job title, rate of pay, and years employed. Then I went ahead and saved that and created employee view. Inside employee view, it extends employee view base, which is a Flash movie clip that I created that has the name, the job title, the rate of pay, and the years employed as text fields in there. And in this employee view, we've got a variable at the top for employee. It's a private variable that extends for this whole class. And then I created a function called update UI. And in that update UI function is where we actually set the name, the job title, the rate of pay, and the years employed to those text fields. Then we've got a getter that gets employee, and then a setter where we set the values and then update the UI. So what we update on our screen with that is the same. And then created a button class for our button that is created for each person. We've got a private variable at the top again for employee that's a value object of employee. Then inside the button function, we've got the superclass, which is the button base, and then we've got mouse children set to false, and the button, it's set to button mode, so it can be clicked. Then we've got a getter and a setter to get the employee name and then set it to that button. Then over here we've got the main, and in main we imported our button, employee value object, and employee view classes. Also, I imported the Flash events for mouse event because we're going to be using onClick. Then I created a array for employees and a view for the employee view class. And I just called the create employees, create buttons, and create view after I created them. Create buttons is a for each loop that goes through and creates a button for each instance inside the array of employees. And each of those is a variable of the employee value object. Then we've got a click handler, or the mouse event, where each time a button gets clicked, it gets the name of that button and pulls up the properties or the variables underneath that, the name of that employee. Then the create employees function, where I created the employees. I've got Jim, who's the CEO, he makes $250 an hour, and he's been employed there for 25 years. Then John is the network admin at $75 an hour. He's employed there for 12 years. George is the janitor. He gets $12 an hour, and he's been employed there for 5 years. And Jessica, the secretary, makes $15 an hour, and she was employed there for 5 years. And then we call the array there and put all of them inside the array. And then we've got the view created down here, which is actually what shows up whenever you click on each name. That's a button. And actually, I'll go ahead and run it here so we can see what it looks like. So you've got name, job title, rate of pay, and years employed. Click on Jim, it shows Jim, his job title, CEO. Just everything that I basically went over whenever I was going over the employees. John, George, and Jessica. And yeah, that's how value objects work. Thanks.